Good evening, everyone. The time is 7 p.m. I would like to call this meeting to order. Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson, could you do the invocation, please?
Yes. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Father God, we just give you glory and honor. We thank you for keeping us yet another day. We thank you, Lord, for just being in our midst. We invite you into our midst today. We ask that you will help us to be fruitful and productive and help us to govern from a place of wisdom and increase, Father God, and from a place of more than enough. Bless our citizens and bless all that's associated with us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen. Council Clerk, could you do the roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Cross,
Here.
Councilman Harrison,
Here.
Councilman Herring,
Here.
Councilwoman Jones,
Here.
Councilman Williams, Councilman Williams,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson,
Here.
Mayor Curtis.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Councilman
Can we
Mayor?
go? Yeah, can we go into closed session to discuss the salary for the Public Works Director?
Sure. Oh, yeah, sure.
All right.
We'll add that to the agenda. Any other discussion?
Okay. I'll call you.
Any opposition to adopting the amended agenda? All right, hearing none by unanimous consent, the amended agenda is hereby adopted. First on the agenda, there are two pieces of legislation that were added. One is an emergency resolution to approve the removal and replacement of concrete sidewalks, curved gutters, and aprons, as well as installation of new sidewalks, curb, new gutters, aprons, as well as installation of new sidewalks, curb, and gutters at specific locations on Polk Court and Tyler Street, 3604 Tyrrell Drive and 1520 3rd Street. Are there any questions or concerns related to this resolution? Okay. Next up is R 36-2026, an emergency resolution to approve the removal and replacement of the existing duct installation system on the two RTUs on the rooftop of the municipal center. Any discussion, questions,
Yes.
comments? Councilman
Actually,
Hare?
I discussed on the first one. I thought when we talked about the street work, we were saying that aprons were not going to be done. Is that still in the resolution for aprons to be
What?
done?
Aprons are the responsibility of the homeowners.
Right. But it's
Uh,
supposed to be taken off, but I'm not sure if it was, if it wasn't.
okay, well, we could make that amendment if it has not been taken off. Any other questions or comments on the first one? Councilman Hare?
Councilwoman Jones has her hand up.
Oh, okay. All right, Councilwoman Jones.
Thank you, Councilman Harry. Thank you, Mayor. I had a conversation with the homeowner at 3604 Tyler concerning this. And she was saying that she went to the county and the county told her that the aprons were the responsibility of the municipality. So in order to clear this up and make it completely clear for myself and for the citizens of Glenarden, even though I understand that Councilman Herring may be clear on this, but I just want it cleared up publicly to let folks know that is not, if it's not the responsibility of the municipality. If the code enforcer, if Manager Green, I know he may not be on here, but if Manager Green, if we could have him look into the county concerning this, and then look into our charter concerning this. Because to be honest, I would do it myself, but right now I don't have that kind of time. So I would appreciate it between now and the 22nd, when it's going to be voted on, if we could get information concerning that. I see Mr. Green's hand. He may have information already. I don't know. But I just wanted to clear that up because, like I said, the homeowner told me that the municipality was responsible for aprons. Like I said, I just don't have the time right now to delve into that. And if the code enforcer could help me, the manager of code enforcement could help me, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor Curtis.
Thank you. Mr. Green?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I wanted to just quickly quote section 142-19 of the city code. It's called maintenance. Section A, responsibilities of property owners. It shall be the duty and obligation of the owner of the property abutting a sidewalk and a public right-of-way to maintain the abutting sidewalk, driveway apron, and sod in a condition as to be safe for public use. Uh, Section B, responsibilities of the city. It should be the duty and obligation of the city to maintain the property of the city, which includes the repair, replacement, and installation of curbs, gutters, and city streets. Councilwoman Jones, I will look into getting the actual language for the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Excuse me, can I talk? Can they hear me?
I'm sorry. This is a work session. I'm sorry, but thank you, Mr. Green, for clarifying that for me, and then I could be able to go back into the community and let them know that responsibility belongs to the homeowner. Now, the other thing is, I'll ask this: since we've already gotten a quote from NZI, and they could just if this can be, if the homeowner is willing to make the payment for what needs to be done, is that possible that they could ride that contract with to have that done?
Is that a question for?
It's a question for anybody that has the knowledge right now. I thank Mr. Green for providing that. It looks like Mr. Gardner might have information on that. If Councilman Herring or any of my other
Yes.
colleagues have answers for that, I would appreciate it.
Mr. Gardner?
Yeah, good evening, Council. I don't have any information on this specific situation or the code, but I think it would be a challenge to get homeowners to pay for these improvements in advance. I'd like to discuss with staff to see how we've handled sidewalk repairs and aprons, and of course, you all have a lot of knowledge and history. Does anybody know if sidewalks have been paid for by homeowners after they've been installed?
Not that I know of. Since I've been on the council since 2017, every sidewalk that the city did was done because it was in dire straits, and the city paid for it. So,
I'm familiar with towns that would have the homeowner pay for the sidewalk or the driveway apron for the initial installation. And often that was back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, but was installed according to the city code or construction standards. Then my experience has been the city would take over ownership and maintenance. But we can look in this and get back.
Okay. All right. Any questions on resolution R36, that's 2026? Councilman Harris, I know you said you had something on that.
Yeah, is that about the roof or what is that for?
It's the leak in the gold room, replacing, fixing that area there that needs to be
Okay,
fixed.
Let me ask a question with that situation because it's leaking in the gold wrong. Did somebody try? I heard somebody try to patch it up. Somebody try to patch that.
I believe they tried to patch. Oh, Mr. Gardner.
Sure, yes. Staff has patched it and has monitored the patch ever since it initially began to leak. But it's not a permanent solution or a particularly good solution long term.
Okay, because I have a major problem with that because I know I said like 2 weeks ago, and this is really frustrating that that roof is under warranty. And to call Wagner Roofing to see if it was still under warranty and come to find out the roofing is still under warranty.
Yeah.
And I'm not understanding why nobody picked up the phone to call these people because that patch may have voided the warranty.
Sir,
It never should have went up there to patch anything.
I'm sorry, the photos and my explanation probably weren't clear enough, but the roof is fine. It's the HVAC insulation that is not part of the roof, but is, I guess, perhaps original and is failing. But the roof itself is not failing. But because the HVAC insulation is failing, uh, water isn't able to get into the building through the HVAC system.
So what did they patch? It
They've,
wasn't the roof.
I believe they've patched parts of the HVAC insulation.
And it's going to cost us $19,000 to put insulation on the HVAC unit.
Yes, that's the quote from Fuji.
From who?
The company, I think it's pronounced Fuji.
Fuji. Did we get any other quotes?
We did not. We quotes, but did not receive other quotes.
Okay, well, I don't have a problem with that. We just getting one quote, and this is a $19,000 contract. We need to get more than just that. We normally get at least 3 bids. So I'm not
I
sure why we're
understand.
running forward with a resolution for $19,000 on the sole source bid. And I just like to know, I mean, I really want to know what's leaking. Is it the roof or is it because if it's coming into the gold room, I like to know how. If it's even if it's the insulation on the air conditioning unit. I mean, the roofing should be the unit sits on top of the roof, which is on top of, I think it's on top of some like pylons or something. And I think the
Right.
roof goes underneath
Right.
that.
That's
So I'm just trying to
correct.
figure out if it's leaking, how is it getting in the gold room if we have a membrane down on the roof to keep it from leaking? See, and that's why I was saying just bring Wagner Roof on out here because they could have came and looked at it and saw. We could have called and said, "Hey, is it the roof? Is it what you call it? Is it if it is leaking? Is there something also wrong with the roof that could be causing that the water can get in it, can be getting into the gold room?" So I'm just thinking that a call should have been made no matter what to the people who did the roof to have them come out there to look to make sure the roof wasn't leaking. And now we're going to sit here and do a $19,000 contract, and we only got one bid on that, or one quote on it. All right, thank you.
It's maybe Mr. Stewart has additional information to add, but I was told with certainty that it's not the roof.
Yes, I could interject here, Mr. Curtis.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, so this code has been there since March 2026. I don't know if the previous city managers had done any RFP as it relate to this project, but we are at a point now where we are running out of time as it relate to the execution of this project. That's one. And the other thing is that when Hugie came out to do the assessment, they saw that the duct itself, the conduit itself, has been warped and rotten out like dry rot. And they have been patching it like anywhere there are holes that have been patching it, but because it is corrosive that much, they're saying that it needs to be replaced. Now, water is going through those broken and crystallized parts of the conduit, and that is leaking down into where the conduit go into the roof for the gold room, and that's causing the leak in the ceiling of the gold room. So I
So,
hope that answers some questions.
Still doesn't answer the question of why you only got one. I don't care if it was a March, and I don't care how urgent it is. That's what always happens around here is that y'all wait till everything gets urgent, and then we supposed to just push it on through without any other bids, without any other information. I mean, has anybody seen any pictures of what they're talking about? Were any pictures taken? Do we have any video? I mean, any photos of what's going on up there?
There are
I mean,
pictures,
you're
and
being, hmm?
sorry, yes, we have some pictures, and we could send those to you as
Why don't y'all? I'm not understanding why y'all keep on holding on to information that is important to this council for us to make a decision. And well, I know I'm not making no decision on a $19,000 contract when you haven't put out an RFP or requested any other bids. Not by me as a council member. I just think y'all need to follow proper protocol. This last minute stuff is what y'all push through every time. It's an emergency, and let's push it on through. And we don't follow the proper protocol required in the charter of how the bid process should go. So I'm just saying again, we are not getting information, and I'm really am getting tired of getting piecemeal information. This is a $19,000 contract. We should at least be able to see what what you're talking about. Obviously everybody else has seen it, but the council, the ones that have to pay for it, we're not getting any information. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank, thank you. Councilwoman Jones?
Thank you, Mayor. The pictures that they did send with it, I don't know what this is. Okay, I really don't. But I agree that this, as an emergency, the emergency should go out as a resolution going forth. I mean, as a bid going forth, because of the fact they're talking about the existing duct. Duct is the metal part that carries your air or whatever through, and those ducts sounds like it's corroded. Now, I mean, I don't have no problem getting up on the roof if I'm invited. I'll go up there and look at it, like I said, but right now I don't have that kind of time. Not until next week. But I kind of agree with Councilman Herring. I think that we need to get some better pictures of what's going on. And if it's the ductwork, yeah, I understand what ductwork is. It's that aluminum part that runs through that carries the air. It's not necessarily the roof that's leaking. It's the duct. The duct is old. The ductwork is old and corroded and needs to be replaced. But still, I would want another set of eyes on this. Another couple of sets of eyes to go up there and do an analysis of what's really going on. If it's the ductwork, that's not the roof. That's just the ductwork that goes between the ceiling and the roof to carry heat or air or air, in this case, air conditioning. So I'm in agreement with getting another bid. And like I said, I have no problem going up on the roof looking myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jones. Uh, Madam Clerk?
Yes,
uh,
I just wanted to add that there were some pictures attached to the resolution that was sent to the council early last week and today as well.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments before we get into the budget? All right, hearing none, we will go to the 1, 2, 3, final 4 parts of the budget. Let me share my screen. Councilman Jones?
Thank you, Mayor Curtis. Could you reiterate what parts of the budget we'll be looking at tonight? I know that legislation is one, capital, capital, and the enterprise. But what parts, what pieces of the budget are we looking at tonight? Because I want to be able to find those pages before we get to them.
Legislation, Public Works, General Operations, Gold Room, and any capital expenditures.
I'm sorry, legislation, public works, capital, and enterprise. And what was the other one?
Go room.
That's enterprise.
I'm sorry. Um, general operations. Did we
General
say that?
operations. Yeah, I got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Sorry, I was trying to remember which one you did not say. All right. Um, can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's me up here. First up is legislation. All right. Council members, first up is legislation. Are there any comments or questions related to the legislative budget for 2027?
Yes, just one question. Are we still moving
Yes.
forward, deputy clerk?
Um, yes, that I believe that was the plan. It's still budgeted here.
And one other question too. If we're bringing in a new clerk, why is the budget at the level that it is in for that salary?
It's a good question. Mr. Stewart, do you know why this went so high?
That I think was, I think that was because when did we had a council clerk during the time I was doing this budget, this part of the budget. So we just um move forward with that, but we didn't adjust it back before moving to this budget. So this we could look into and revise. Is that understood?
Councilman Williams?
Kelly, is it using the network
So
now? Here,
am I hearing that we should have it at 69 or 70, whatever it is, 69 for fiscal year? Is that what I'm hearing from the treasurer?
The 69 was the amount for the 2026
Right.
pay scale. So if we are moving back to the 2023 scale,
Why would we move back to
this
2023?
because that is what was approved by the council.
Well, you just, right here, it says 2026 approved budget was 69.
So the 2026 approved budget did take into consideration the 69,000. What it take into consideration as well is the pay scale for 2026, which we are moving back to the 2023 because 2026 was not approved.
But you have here, it was approved.
Councilman
It
Williams,
says fiscal year 2026 approved budget 69,7035.
So are you saying to me now, last year's approved budget was not 69,735?
The budget was approved, but the argument is that the pay scale for 2026 was not approved, but the pay scale for 2023 was the last time
Yeah.
the scale was
Miss,
approved.
Mr. I think it's all confusing if we
Yes.
reference a 2026 pay scale. There is no 2026 pay scale. There's only a 2023 pay scale. So it'll be helpful if we don't confuse council members by saying that there was a 2026 pay scale. There was never a pay scale that was adopted, formed, by the council. There was a 2023 pay scale. What Councilman Williams is referencing is what was approved in the 2026 budget. Now you can say that we approved the budget at the wrong pay level, but he is correct that we approved in the budget for 2026 $69,735. Now, if you want to say that we have to find where that is on the approved pay scale, that's fine. But I think it's throwing people into
Right,
confusion with
right,
these different pay scales.
right. Because that would be double talk. You can't say, because it's right here, it said it was approved. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what the pay scale said. The budget was approved last year for 6973, according to this document. So my question is to the council, do we want to start it off at that 69 since that was approved last fiscal year? That's basically my question to get a vote on that or consensus on that.
Ms. Stewart, at what level is that on the our pay scale? Is that
Well,
consistent with the council clerk scale?
give me 1 minute. Let me go to the salaries.
And that's what we have to protect and safeguard those. And nothing worried. Brandon Carter runs the FTC. He's very
And if it would be helpful, if you want to email me that pay scale real quick, I can pull it up so all council members can see. I don't think I have it
Yeah,
on
man, let me
this.
just say, according to the pay scale, the person is at the points they're at 240, between 240, 249, a grade 13. Their new higher range is 68,000, between 68,731 and 75,866, according to the 2003 pay scale.
Okay. Ms. Schultz, I see your hand. Did you have anything to add to that?
No, I think he has it, and I'll also look up the grade of the clerk compared to the grade of the deputy. But I think Mr. Herring sufficed the answer to the question.
Okay. Then to your point, Councilman Williams, I would probably prefer to err on the top end of that, and not to say that we will pay that, but to at least have
Have
that
it
in the
budget,
budget. Yeah.
right? Have it budget for that, and then go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Herring, what was that amount again?
The top range would be 75,866.
Like Netflix or what's happening online, right?
That's the new higher range.
Bring it far, but like expand that so that
Okay.
the FCC has heard you over.
So any opposition to me changing it to that number for 2027?
Howard, one of the things that he's done effectively, and it's a lot of
All right.
Sorry, you said 65,732?
these entities to get them to bend to their will, even if they don't have any official.
No, it's 68 something, and then 75,866, as Councilman Herring just said.
So if you're on the other side of that, if there's something you're gonna anticipate and bet. And I think that you're right. If you think back to Trump's inauguration, and it wasn't just because he likes those guys that he had all the stand behind him. It was a reflection of this is where the power is and where it's going to be. And this is the
78,135.
$58.
what the FTC can do, is that you can take similar things, the types of threats, the sort of the pressure that he's applied in a lot of the legacy media, you can now apply that.
What we have this position as is a non-management with a grade of 19 and a step of 8. What are we saying here? We're going back to 19.3.
No, if you look at the approved pay scale, they have the clerk to the council under management,
It's under
and
management.
it's under management.
And what scale, what step is that? What rank?
Grade and
Grade
scale.
13. And that's
Grade
75. Yeah, it's a grade 13, and that highest step is 5.
So that's 75,866.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
I do have one more question on legislative, and that's just on why did we take down conference and training $1,800?
Mm-hmm.
For conference and training, it's looking at each council member getting a total of 5,000 per year.
And we took it down. Why
To
$1,800?
35.
So what was it? But what was it last year? How much was it
Last
per
year it was
council member last year?
36,800.
No, how much was it per council member last year?
It was 5,000
No, the approved
per
budget is
council
36.
member.
You're saying you're taking it down
Right.
to 7 council members at 5,000, but in 2026 it was 36,800, and I just want to know why was it being taken down to 36,800? I mean, why is it being taken down from 36,800, which we had in 2026?
In other words, what the extra 1,800 was for then. I don't have that information. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Oh, okay. All right. I think the final thing is codification. Has anybody reached out to ECO to see if that amount is enough for codification? Now, in 2026, we did almost $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting ready to do, now you took it down to $1,200, and there's at $1,500. We don't know. Every ordinance that we pass gets codified, as well as we got to get the, I don't even know if they did the codification for the new charter resolutions that we did in 2024, I think it was. So I'm wondering if is that going to be enough? And which I don't think they did. Because when I go into the website, Ecode 360, the new charter is still not updated. I mean, the charter is updated with the new charter with the new charter changes. So do we know that that's enough for a codification of our ordinances and of the charter resolutions that we did? Those were some major charter resolutions that were done to change the form of government. So has anybody reached out to them to find out if that's, what the cost estimate could be for that? Because I think it's going to be more than $1,200 once we send those charter resolutions in and have them update that whole charter online.
All right, we'll follow up with them, but over the years we have been using approximately $1,200. So that on that basis we have prepared the budget for that amount.
Okay.
But what you're saying, we need to look into that to ensure that with all the changes that took place, if it will go over that amount. Yes.
Especially with the charter changes, those were major changes.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it all, Mr. Councilman Harry?
Yes, that's it.
Councilman Williams?
Okay. maybe because the mayor is with us, with the council now. So if you do 7 times 5, then that will be there and it would take it out of unless you put that in the mayor's budget there. So it, that's how you would get to 35. Otherwise, if it's 5, it would be 36. I mean, 30,000, 6 times 5. But I say this all to say, instead of taking it down, if anything, in my opinion, it should go up to encourage you to go do more things instead of go take it down and do less things. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cross?
Yeah, thank you. The executive budget lines have been zeroed out, Councilman, I believe. And then also under the legislative office, I thought we had talked about overtime in other departments, and we have zero approved in 26, but in 27, we have 1,000 approved for overtime. For our council clerk, do they get overtime? Or are they using comp hours? Could I get an explanation on how that works?
It's Ms. Schultz here.
Yeah, I think the
Go ahead,
clerk is
Giselle.
exempt. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Ms.
think
Schultz.
the clerk is exempt.
They're correct. The clerk is exempt. I guess the overtime money was there in case you hired a deputy clerk.
Yeah.
But she's part-time, so why would she get overtime?
Well, because we got still to pay extra hours. She's part-time, but if she works over the 20 hours a week, then she's got to get paid for that. So maybe that's why I
If
was
she
looking
works
at
over
Over
20
the
hours, she got to work
40.
over 40.
no. If she works over 20, she's got to get paid the extra 20 hours, first of all. And then if she works over 40, then you are correct. So maybe I don't know why it's put under overtime, but that's what I'm assuming. That somewhere or another he's got to put the money just in case she works over the 20 hours a week that you all are budgeting for. Make sense?
Thank you, madam. I think we could delete that line. It's just 1,000 hanging out there that shouldn't be used if we are effectively utilizing and responsibly utilizing the administrative staff of the legislative office. But thank you for your explanation.
Okay. Any other?
Mr. Curtis, one of my concern here is over the years, staff have been used to do planning meetings for events, and we have been charging their departments with the overtime that most people are requesting. Could we now consider having a provision in the council department in legislation for overtime to assume some of those overtime costs? Is it something that could be done?
Yes. For who?
There are times when some of the administrative or some of the staff participate in meetings and planning meetings as it relates to some of the events that the council department is having. And when they are applying for the time used, most times they're requesting overtime. It is being applied to their department, but given that the event is for council, can it be applied to the legislative department, those overtime?
So, for example, we
Glenn,
have the Glenarden Day Committee, right? And Michelle is a part of the Glenarden Day Committee. I thought that was a volunteer committee.
not when I get the requests for either come time or overtime. then you see the request saying it's for the planning of these events, especially the Glenarden Day event. So if it should be um,
I'll, I'll, I'll,
volunteer,
I'll defer to Councilman Herring and Councilman Harrison, who chair the
No.
committee.
Yeah, they get overtime for those when they work those hours for
Okay.
those events. They do get overtime for that. Um, but I guess my thing is that I don't think it should be in the council's budget because again, it should be in their budget because they got to get approval from their supervisors to do the overtime. But also these are city events. I mean, even though it's in a council budget, it's still a city event that we're having. Um, I mean, just like I see where you zeroed out the overtime for administration, you know. Um, I guess my concern was because I'm gonna tell you straight from the events I have, I don't have too many administrative staff works in the events I have, so I don't know what overtime they're doing. So see, this is what I'm saying with justification. If they're working other events, we need to know that. Because I'm just saying I can only go by the events that I've done. And I know what staff and what staff usually works on it regularly every year. Um, so that's why I question overtime in some of the departments because again, you know, we have events and some people come and attend, but they don't come and work. You know, some staff. And you got staff that always works. So, you know, I mean, y'all got to be more clear on what y'all want and why y'all need it and just stop. Because what I'm seeing is people sticking overtime in budgets and people just getting overtime just because. You know, I mean, we didn't have all of that before. And I mean, and honestly, really, if you really wanted to, even if a person, even if there's not overtime in the budget, when it's all hands on deck, it's all hands on deck. If we have an event on Saturday and a staff member is required to be there, then they need to be off on Friday to stay under the 40 hours so they don't get overtime. Or they need to take another day off to stay under that 40 hours. But you know, it comes down again to providing us with enough information to make sound decisions. Now, if you're saying you got people that work other events in administration, y'all need to say that. I'm
um,
only going about the
but
events that I got.
yeah, but it may not necessarily be only for, but I know for certain, especially the Glenarden Day, that's one that has a lot of planning going into that. And as you say, yes, it's a citywide event, but it's captured in the legislative department. And if it is such, then I believe any overtime incurred for that event should be applied to the legislative department.
I don't agree with that. I agree it needs to be applied in the department that they come from. Um, again, I can't sign off on somebody else's overtime because I'm not responsible for that budget, but they can sign off on overtime and they're responsible for that person. So I don't agree with that one. I agree it needs to stay just like it's been doing all these years, in that department.
I
Thank
understand. I understand what you're saying, but when individuals go to those planning meetings, their supervisors are not necessarily there. It's the planning committee members are there that could say whether a person was there or not and should be able to sign off to say, yes, this person actually came, actually participated and contributed to the whole planning and also the event itself. So on that basis, I'm saying, yes, it should be included in the legislative department. So you don't put that burden on the other departments if they weren't a part of the whole planning of that event.
Let me just say, it's not a burden on any department because it's all taxpayers' money. It's all money that we've allocated out to move this government forward, to provide these services to the citizens and to the citizens for these various events. So it isn't a burden on anybody, you know. It's money, it's their tax dollars, and we're spending it how we see fit to benefits them. All right, thank
So, so in that case, so in that case, we need to put overtime in those departments where people are going to participate in those planning events or those planning meetings, just to make sure we could cover their requests for overtime.
Thank you. Councilman Jones?
Um, Thank you, Mayor Curtis. I was always under the impression also that these events were volunteers that came and did the work, or, if you volunteered, you were able to assist. So I'm not understanding where this overtime thing is coming up. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now, I've heard murmurings and complainings from employees about this person getting overtime and this person getting overtime and this person can't get overtime and this one can't get overtime for events. I am at the place now listening to this conversation as far as the events are concerned. If a employee decides to volunteer to help for an event, I think that they should get comp time. Or like Councilman Herring indicated, if the event's on Saturday and you want to participate, or you're required to participate, then you should get a day off in the week, and the department head should be able to stagger those persons who's going to be off. Like, you wouldn't have everybody in Public Works off on Wednesday when they know they're going to work on Saturday. You would stagger it. Somebody's off on Monday, somebody's off on Tuesday, and so on and so forth. But I've always heard that it was volunteer. It's just been the last 2 years that like I said, have been hearing this murmuring and complaining about, I can get overtime, but this person can get overtime, but I can't get overtime. That's something. And even as council people, we're not these persons' supervisors, so we cannot. I mean, we of course we are in charge of what monies are spent, or overseers of the monies spent, but we are not these persons' supervisors. I think it should be up to the department heads when those persons come and request. They can't request overtime. It's like overtime is asked when you have a shortage of help. So really, at a event planning committee, that's not a shortage of help. You have volunteered to help this committee for this certain function. Then you should understand that the consequences of that is the city may or may not pay you overtime. But now everybody wants overtime because they see other people getting overtime for doing events. So that's something that we need to address. Thank you, Mayor Curtis.
Thank you. Mr. Gardner? You're on mute.
I'm sorry. I think we agree that we need to minimize overtime, kind of in any department, as much as possible, and to use flex time or comp time instead, when that is available. And in terms of particularly employees who are eligible for overtime, I think we need to also be really clear on when they work an event. If we ask them to work in an event, I don't believe we can ask them to volunteer for that event. Ms. Schultz can provide more information on the rules around that. But we can make sure that staff can adjust schedules, and I absolutely agree that we have to be consistent so that we don't have a situation where some employees in some departments are automatically getting overtime, for example, and other employees doing the same thing in other departments, are never getting overtime. And for those of us who are exempt, and I assume that in often cases, those hours are volunteered in essence, and in some cases they are flex time or comp time. But in terms of where it's allocated, it can be very helpful to make sure that all costs for any one particular event are allocated to that event. So you really know what the event cost.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments? Mr. Stewart, does ADP allow notes on lines of the time input on time cards?
Yes, we could have notes there. Yes.
Does and so when people fill out their timesheet, they put a project code there?
What they'll do is put the justification, which is telling us what the overtime was for or what the come time is for. So from the justification, we could do our allocations.
So on the regular time, they put a project, correct?
Yes, that's it.
And when they're inputting overtime, they don't put a project?
Yes, they would put what the justification is for that overtime.
That's not what I'm asking. Do they have to put a project for overtime?
When you say a project, are you talking about an event that they're doing the overtime for?
Correct. So on the regular time sheet, I worked on, 5 things there. And I'm just asking. So I worked on let's I worked on the public
No,
works, something they needed help. So
no.
no, it's just they just charged the department.
Right, they just charge the department. But if there are exceptions, like if you did overtime, if you went on vacation, if you are sick, then those justification has to be um, recorded as to why you were sick, you went on vacation, or if you spend more time, then you got to say why you spent more time, and that's the justification, whether it's an event, whether it's a meeting that kept you over the time. That's what it is.
Okay. All right. Any other questions as it relates to the legislative Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson?
Yes, I don't have a question, just a statement. I know I've been doing some doing events for several years, and for the most part that I've known, at least they were those that volunteered were claiming comp time. It seems like just in the last couple of years or recently that they're sticking overtime in almost every department. And so for me, you know, it had been comp time, even with the our clerk. Like if they worked the event or whatever, they was it was comp time on their time card for the most part. So I don't know where all of a sudden they're sticking overtime in all these departments. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Schultz, could you just chime in on that? I think by law you have to go overtime for.
Correct, sir. If you are non-exempt, the employee gets paid overtime unless the employee requests comp time. You cannot force a non-exempt employee to take comp time. Does that answer your question? Hello?
Mayor Pro Tem
I'm sorry.
Ferguson, does that answer your question?
I mean, well, I really didn't have a question. That was kind of like,
Well, yeah.
but basically, I mean, I do know that they can either or, but I'm just saying, like I said, in the recent years, I've noticed that most people were taking comp time, but all of a sudden, it seemed like that was been more prevalent in the last year or two. Um, that's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. I think it'd be great to do an overall, I think we said this already, do an overall analysis of overtime to see what overtime is needed in each department. I think I get it as it relates to, you know, uh, we might want to rethink how things are done because you have the department manager um, approving overtime and then it's going to our department, but we don't know what that manager has approved. They approve an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then we just see overtime in our budget um, without any type of support. So I think it just overall just kind of rethinking how all this is put together um, could be helpful. And if employees have been using the notes in overtime, it'll be helpful to see how much overtime has been attributable to the different projects or different events that are held by the council. So,
Will do, yes. But
okay.
are we clear? Are we clear in saying that if a council event is being run and a non-exempt employee is there doing overtime, should it be charged to the legislative or should it be charged to their home department? That's what I would like to have cleared up.
Um, to be honest, I don't think the construct of your accounting, I don't think your accounting structure can handle that. I am going to guess here. It's not, I know, assuming is not the
Mhm.
best thing to do, but I'm assuming that this code here means that all of these things go to this code, 864710.30.10.8637. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes.
And if that is the case, I am like Mr. Gardner. I would like to see what an event costs. So I would have a project for each event so that I can track all the costs related to that project. But what he's saying you would not be able to do anyway because everything in this bucket is going here. So you wouldn't be able to tell the difference of what's Glenarden Day, what's Christmas party, what's Heal the City event. It would seem that we're just with this bucket, we're trying not to go over that 111, even though I know that the committee members of these events track their own expenses, but they do so outside of the system. Is that correct?
Yes, but when it comes to labor time, labor hours, that will go into salaries, into the
Yeah.
overtime section. So it's not like I could put that cost into the 8647.
Yeah, and I'm saying that I agree with Councilman, I think it's Councilman Jones and I know it's Councilman Herring that it should just go to the department because it's not like you're tracking it down to the project. You're tracking it down to just the bucket of special events. And if that's the case, and you can't delineate between Glenarden Day and the other events, then it makes more sense that if that person is charged overtime and that manager is approving it, then the overtime gets booked to that department based on how you have your current accounting, in my opinion.
So in our accounting, whenever someone does overtime relating to any event, they would cite that event on their request
I got you.
form.
I got you.
Yes,
I got you. I know that's what you said. I'm just telling you where I land on it.
yes, yes.
All right. Councilwoman Jones.
Thank you, Mayor Curtis. So this is a thought for me. Um, let's say like Glenarden Day, and that's an event that we get a grant for, grant to support that event. So if we have all the police officers come to Glenarden Day and have to pay them overtime, that's going to come out of the police department's budget. But shouldn't it come out of that grant budget? I mean, not all of these events here have grant budgets, but we know that Glenarden Day is a grant, $50,000 grant. Well, that's been for the last 2 years. But my thought is, if you have all the police officers working Glenarden Day and they're all on overtime, wouldn't that grant cover that cost instead of the police department? I mean, I'm just throwing a thought out there.
Mayor.
Yes,
Thank you.
Councilman.
Yes, Councilwoman Jones. When we submit the paperwork to the county, we submit all expenses, including payroll expenses. So it's up to when we get the check, those payroll expenses actually should be coded back to the department. So yes, the grant does cover. They take into account all of that, all the overtime, all the personnel, all of that is included in that grant amount. So it's up to finance when they get the check in to go over the paperwork that we submitted to the county, and it's basically broken down by how much was personnel was used and what the cost was, because we actually sent them all the time information for that grant. So yeah, you're right, and it's up to them when the check come in. They need to code it right back to the department so they can have it credit against their overtime. All right, thank you.
Thank you. At least an overall question, and if you don't have an answer, Mr. Stewart, because I don't want to belabor this point. When we have grants, isn't it required that you be able to track that grant and report on it
Yes, it
in the
is.
system, in the county
Yes, it
system?
is.
How do you do that?
I mainly track it through the special revenue, where any grant that come in, and recently I've had grants come in that I've set up, that I've run through the general fund because the monies were there for us to track directly. So in the general fund, I was able to open tracking accounts to follow those expenditures that will go against the revenue when it does come in.
And you give those individual projects.
Yes.
Okay.
Those individual projects and numbers so that they could be tracked.
All right. Just checking.
Can I ask it? Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
So when you say, Mr. Stewart, individual project, you set up an individual department code, correct?
Yes. Not
Okay.
department, not department. It would have been the because let's take, for example, in the police department, they have 3 grants that they got recently. And what I've actually done is open a tracking account within the police department. So where you have the expense, the fund, the police department, and the other code, that will be the tracking code so that I could follow those expenses.
So it's a project code.
So it's a project code.
That's what the mayor was asking earlier about project codes.
Yes. So yes. So for example, this grant that we are referring to, when the fund come in, I would open an account. I tracking fund a tracking program code for it so that we could follow and exhaust its expenses and income. So that's how I would track that.
So let me ask a question. This is just asking a question. So looking at this, you got your account code consists of one, two, three, four categories. What? Fund, project, fund, account, department, and what else?
So you have the natural account, which is the expense. You have the fund, you have the department, and then you have the program. So in this case, that's what you're looking at. 10 would be the fund.
Right.
35 would be the police department.
Right.
50 is police general. But in cases like, for example, we have a warrant grant, that would be a 52, because I'm tracking those expenditures that go there.
So let me ask a question. So what software you're using? Abila, right?
Abila, yes.
Okay. And you can't, I know when I use it, you were able to add project codes. And it'll be a fifth code, not that code that you're changing, but it'll be a fifth code at the end of that. So everything can roll up under, so you can either roll it, you can run it as under that one code, but add a project code to drill down on it even more if it's a certain project. But I just was asking, but we don't have to go into that. We can move on. All right.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I have more questions, but I like Councilman Herring, and we can get into that another time. All right. Any other questions for legislative?
Yes. Can you go
Mayor
back?
Pro Tem?
I saw something with awards. It had zero incentives and awards. It had $0. Is that because it was moved to general funds or something?
Yeah, it has moved to general operation.
And what is that? It says what other council members? What is that statement? When you move over, so I can read that. What other council members need to talk for that?
Yeah, that might be on the wrong line.
No, that's just in the wrong line. That is information. Yeah.
So because if award or some kind of incentive award was wanted to be given, we would just that would come from general funds.
It would come from the general operation. Yes.
Operation, yes. Okay.
Unless the council would want to have a fund for awards and certificate differently from general operation.
I don't know. I just wanted to, just to confirm that if in the event that something wanted, we wanted to give something to a club or something like that, then we could be able to do it. It would be funded. Okay,
In this case, it would not be.
What do you mean it would not be?
It would have to. There's no fund
Come from
in
general
the
operations.
council. It would have to come from general operations.
Okay.
But we still could. Okay. All right.
Yeah, just for that point, Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson, we still could. It'll just come out of general operations, correct?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Okay, and then on where our mailers are, so I guess it appears that we've never exceeded that because it looks like we're carrying the same thing. So between the mailers, for the different events and holiday cards and things like that, so that 7,500 is enough.
Yes, I maintain that amount from last year because those mailers sometimes it fluctuates depending on the event that you're mailing about.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jones?
Thank you, Mayor Curtis. In regard to the award thing by the council, I believe we had this issue last year, And the attorney said that we would have to come up with a criteria to establish a criteria on how we were going to present awards and do awards. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, since we touched on a general,
Mayor,
I'm
Mayor,
sorry.
one thing I do want to follow up on awards, and because I think we should have something in our budget for awards for the clerk outside of general. Um, Her work is very different than most of the other employees up in that office. And the amount she does and what she does and how she has to work with 7 different individuals can, warrant something greater than whatever the calculation is for the other staff. And, I'm not really worried about other staff getting upset about it, but it's just, that's a unique position. I think we should have something in there for awards and certificates for the clerk, um, outside of the general operations. All right, thanks.
Do you have a recommendation?
5,000.
Any opposition to adding 5,000 there? All right, Mr. Stewart, I know you're tracking it separate, but I'm just going to put it here anyway.
Councilwoman Ferguson has her hand up.
Councilwoman Ferguson, I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson.
Yes, I do agree with Councilman Herring. But just for clarity, so that's like, something special. And it's not saying that we have to use 5,000. I mean, we could just wind up using 500, we don't know. But so as far as back to the, where would, if we wanted to give an incentive award for the, performance, that will come, that's what you're saying, that's coming out of the general, Mr. Stewart?
So what we have in the general operation is merit bonuses and awards. The same could happen for the council as well. For the council clerk, you could have a merit bonus in that department as well. But that I leave up to the council to decide on.
Okay, I mean, again, maybe I missed it, but I guess my question is, so say if we didn't put it in this budget, say, a clerk received a 4.5, if we wanted to give, something for the merit, then could we go to the general to get it, or he couldn't get one, he or she couldn't get one because it wasn't in our budget?
As general operations stand, it covers practically all departments. So yes, there's a possibility that you could take funds from there to accommodate general fund operations like any of the department in general fund, which includes legislation.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yes.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
I'm sorry. If I wanted to ask if council is interested in a type of council retreat, and if so, if that would already be covered within the funds allocated for council training, and then separately, if council is interested in the upcoming year in doing a type of strategic plan, and if so, if that might be covered separately.
Council members? I'll just point out that we have had a retreat. I think it was last year.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And a strategic plan. Correct? Last year.
In September.
In September. I take it that we will the new city manager will have to come in and dig through that information, um, and to get acclimated. Um, and if an additional meeting was needed, then we can have it at the municipal center at a very low cost. So, um, unless council members wanted to have another retreat in 2027, then probably we'll keep it the same. All right.
Well, I think we should have a retreat so we can bring whoever's in the administration up to date on where they are and where we are as far as ideas on what needs to be done.
Okay. And what line? I mean, are you making a recommendation of putting funds in here for a retreat? And if
How much did
so,
we spend for the retreat we did last time in the city hall? I think the only expense was refreshments, food for lunch and morning refreshments. Other than that, I mean, how much would that cost? That's
do you have that
I
information available, Mr. Stewart, or no? It's fine
no,
if you
I
don't.
don't. I don't
Okay.
have that information. Yes.
And if we did that, what line would that go under, Mr. Stewart?
That would go under conference.
Was that the $1,800?
It could have been.
Ben,
No, but please let me check. Let me check before. Okay.
Okay. So in the meantime, anybody opposed me just putting this at $37,000 to accommodate a potential retreat? Okay. So I put this. Oh shoot, I didn't make that. I'll put this at 37.
Got it.
All right. General operations. Now, since we were just on that awards and certificates, is this the line you were talking about, not Councilman, Mr. Stewart?
Um, your feed is gone. Hello, Mr. Curtis.
I think we've lost him. Let's give him a minute to see
Yes.
if he can get back in.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Was it me that just dropped, or was it everybody was not affected?
No.
Okay,
You
sorry.
you left us.
Everything just went out. So briefly, I'll share my screen again. All right. To the awards and certificate, is this the amount
Yes.
we were talking about, the 17.5?
Yes.
Okay. And then this is the amount of the merit increases?
Merit
Oh,
bonus.
bonuses?
Yes. But please note that this does not include the police department.
Okay. All right. Any questions related to the general operations,
Yes.
Councilman Henry?
Why does that not include the police department?
The police department will be allocated in the special fund under stop sign cameras. I didn't put it in the budget for this year, but this is something that we would like to discuss with the council as it relates to where to apply their bonuses. And we're seeing that the stop sign cameras, as those funds are available, would be reasonable to pay bonuses to officers based on their merit, based on how well they do for the year.
So, how much are we allocating for staff bonuses?
For staff, without the police, it's 25,000 we have.
And you want to allocate $275,000 for police for bonuses?
And that is the same as with the regular staff, because those will be based on their merit, how well they have done.
I didn't ask that. I said, you want to allocate 25,000 for staff and $275,000 for police bonuses? That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, but that is based on a request that the acting chief had put forward during the course of this year. He was requesting for retainment that we provide either salary adjustments or bonuses, where we decided the best way to go, as we have been doing over the years, is provide high achievers bonuses and don't affect their salaries. The recommendation that they had was in line with other like municipalities, and the amount that they were requesting
Name
amount
one.
up to. I couldn't name one right now,
Okay.
or I could ask um, the Mr. Robinson if he could chime in here, but if not, we could give you that information later on.
Okay.
Oh,
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Acting Chief Robinson here. So you were asking the municipalities that we're talking about that's comparable?
Yes, that's
Okay.
getting
Okay.
$12,000 bonuses.
I do not have that information, the exact information, but like I said, we'll get back to you with it.
Okay. I'm gonna say this, and when y'all come up here and give these statements that we're giving the same thing as like municipalities, y'all really share the information, because I'm going to ask the question. Um, who else? And I've been asking that question every time y'all bring up these numbers. I always ask who else, and y'all never had that information. It seemed like, I should know that it's going to happen by now. Yeah, I just wanted to know who else. I mean, so yeah, whenever you get it, bring it to me. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Herring. Are there any other questions or comments for the general budget?
Yes, I
General
do.
operations, Councilman Herring?
Yeah. So health insurance is going to go down by 35,000.
Okay, hold a second. So for 2027, I've noticed a trend, like that amount is going down. However, right now it is at 268,000. And we only have 2 more months to go. And we are looking at another 50,000. So it would be 320,000.
Your bill is 25,000 a month?
It's approximately between 25 and 28.
And that includes dental, that includes all health, dental,
All,
vision.
yes, yes.
So, may I?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I guess my thing is I've never really seen health insurance premiums go down. I think we may want to keep it where it is just in case health
At the
insurance goes up.
360.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because in 2025 it was 363 and it's only been going up. So I think we should keep it at the 360 just to be safe.
I well, I'll say that for the current year, ours in business went down just very slightly. It's like maybe 1%.
Yes.
But I agree with Councilman Herring. I would not expect it to continue to go down. And even like I said, when it did go down, it only went down, slightly.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I would agree with Councilman Herring. It's probably stay the same
Okay.
somewhere in that area. Councilman Herring?
Yeah. Question. I guess you need to explain this new, either you or Ms. Schultz explain the new paid family medical leave expense.
Um, yes, yes, sir.
Yes,
Um,
yes, ma'am.
I'll start, Dean, and you can pick up if I need it. As you know, a couple of years ago, the state of Maryland, like other states, decided that they were going to pay employees when they were out sick if they meet certain criteria. It was supposed to take place in 20, it came out in 23 or 24. It was supposed to happen in 25. It did not occur in 25, but it passed the budget this year to be effective in 27. And what that is that if an employee meets the criteria of the longevity and where they work, they have to mandatory, cannot stop it if you have one employee or 1,000 employees. The agency and employee must pay into this fund. Dean can tell you the exact percentage of the fund. It's not that much, but the way Dean and I looked at it is if the employee pays half and the city pays half, then that will give up with what we need. For this year, we have to start putting money in January of 27. The employees also start. The employers cannot get the money out until the first time until January of 28. I understand it's similar to what DC does as far as family medical, and it's up to $1,000 a week for X number of weeks a year, depending on the documentation from a medical physician and everything else that's going on. Everybody grumbled and grumbled, but they finally passed the bill this year. So we are having right now monthly meetings with the state of Maryland, and I have provided Dean with all the slides that they have sent out that basically says how this fund is going to work, what we have to do, what the employees have to do if the city so chooses to split the money half and half. Some municipalities have stated that they'll pay the whole thing. Some municipalities have said, no, we'll go half and half. It's still in the development stage phase as far as we're concerned. Dean and I and the new city manager have to get together to come up with how we're going to present this to the employees. They cannot back out of it, period, the end. They can't say, well, I don't want it. Well, if they don't want it, they cannot work for anybody in the state of Maryland, in the government. So if a police officer say, well, I'll just go to another municipality because I don't want to pay it, they're not going to have a choice. I look at me. I don't have benefits from the city, but since I work in the state of Maryland, I too am under FMLI, family. Dean, what I didn't give them the percentage.
I have the percentage here. It is 9%. It is 0.9% of salaries.
That's the full amount?
That's a full amount.
Okay.
Yes. One of the questions, some of the questions that have come up in having meetings is, well, we only got 2 employees that work in the state. State said, we don't care. We are lucky in that all of our employees work in Maryland, unlike some cities, states that have employees that live in Maryland, that work that live someplace else but work in Maryland, or vice versa. The key is, if you work in the state of Maryland, you must participate in this new insurance.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yeah.
So basically, the state of Maryland just hit us with another tax.
Yes, sir.
That's why he's gonna lose if he don't stop it.
Well, he fought it, sir, for 2 years. I mean, I'll if anything, I'll give him that. But I guess he couldn't fight it anymore. I don't know. But it was supposed to take effect 2 years ago.
This is crazy. So, I mean, they have it in DC. I pay it in DC. But so that's on top of our own. It's on top of FMLA. And
It's
our own sick leave.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If at a later date, when maybe after the break, if council wants to meet, Dean and I and the new city manager then can meet with council. I can, until then, share with council the slides that they have been giving us over and over and over again, going over them. And you can have some idea as to what's going on. So if you want that, I will provide you with those slides.
So, and just to be clear, so it's 0.9% of our total payroll?
Yes, it's 0.9% of our total payroll. Yes, it is.
And that's only $15,000?
15,000. Yes, sir.
For this year.
And that's from January through June.
Thank you.
Oh, for 6 months.
Yes, that's for 6 months.
So normally it'll be 30,000 or more coming next year, next budget cycle.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I still got the floor. Telephone and communications, that expense went down to 11,000. It was 45 on general. And that was because of what?
Yeah, that was because we didn't have a full accounting of all the communication devices that we have. Now I have that. So I'm able to actually distribute those costs to their respective department, and what I cannot close out on remain in general operations. So there are a few devices that um, comes with early termination fees, and those are what I'm trying to um, negotiate out of our system.
What about Mutual of America? They gone up $18,000,
Let me see.
2026 to 2027.
You said 18.
Yeah, group life
Oh,
insurance.
if you can remember last year, I was telling you that there was some arrears that needs to be accounted for. This is me accounting for the arrears that were missed for a couple of years. So this 18,000 is what we're going to pay through to the end of I think it's through to February, from July to February.
So you say we missed what? Some payments?
Yes, there were some missing payments. So I'm catching them up now.
Okay. Newsletter printing and postage. You reduce that by 15.5.
Because the newsletter that we're doing now, compared to the years before, we're doing less.
Less pages?
Less pages and less less publications then. Yes. No,
So
not
what is so
publication, but
I was going to say.
less articles. We're having less articles.
Okay. Then the bank fees, they're gonna go down.
I am kind of trying to control the bank fees to some degree, and I think we could able to bring it down.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right, that's it for me, Mayor. Thanks.
How do you control bank fees? How are you going to bring it down?
It is based on how much funds you have in the account and how well you manage your ACH payments and other check transactions as well. So I've been kind of be a little tight on those transactions. So we have been saving.
Have you? How much does it cost? How much does it cost to submit an ACH versus writing a check?
A check is approximately an additional, I think it's $20 or $17 as opposed to ACHs, which are cents. But let me get back to you on that and give you exact numbers since you asked.
So not necessarily saving money if we were writing more checks, right?
The more checks you write, the higher the amounts. So that's why I'm moving away from checks as much or where possible.
So how are we moving away from checks as much as possible and trying to control bank
So we're
fees?
doing more ACH payments.
But you said you were trying to control ACH payments to not have high bank fees.
No, I said checks and other transactions are more expensive than ACH transaction. So I'm doing more ACH transaction where I can.
Okay, so how are you managing bank fees?
So bank fees are contribution of how we manage balances in the accounts the transactions that go through the account, and most of those are where check transactions are concerned. So as much as I could reduce check payment, the more savings I could get by doing ACH payments. I will get more information on that to pass to you.
Okay. Maybe I misunderstood in the beginning. Because what I originally heard was never mind. Okay.
Yeah, Mayor.
Yes, sir, Councilman
Yeah,
Harry.
because I was trying to figure out the same thing because it sounds like, I mean, you're still cutting the number of checks, and everybody's not going to do ACH. You don't use positive pay?
No.
Hmm. You may want to look into it. That'll save you even more money. Because I can't see how I don't see how fees are going to be between credit card fees, ACH fees, check fees, and I don't.
Credit
How many?
card
Huh?
credit credit card fees don't go there. Credit card fees goes into service fees,
Go into service
which is
fees.
merchant fees for credit card or credit card devices.
Where's that on the Oh, it's up top.
Yes.
It's still bank fees.
But I prefer separating them so that we could have a clearer picture of what it's costing.
Okay. So, okay. Same difference to me, but all right. So, all right. I just was curious because I'm trying to figure that out too. I don't see how banks don't reduce their fees. Okay.
I will get the information and show you both.
All right. Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, Councilman Herring. Any other questions for general operations? Okay. We'll go to Public Works. All right. Are there any comments or questions for Public Works?
Yes, man.
Councilman Herring.
So are y'all adding a maintenance tech one?
Yes.
Or you
I
haven't
don't
hired
know.
a maintenance tech one?
I think and maybe Ms. Schultz could back me on this, but I think each of these tech 1, 2, and 3 had to have 2 of each over the years. So maybe she could agree, explain.
What's the question? I'm sorry.
With regard the tech members in Public Works.
Ever since I have been here, we've had 2 3s, 2 2s, and 2 1s. That's it since 19.
Oh my gosh.
I'll go back but since 19. I'll double check, but if I'm not mistaken, we have not added any. The part-time person has been part-time for 3 years, and that's Mr. Albert, 3 or 4 years. But I double check, but I'm almost positive. I don't have it in front of me, but I don't remember adding any positions since 2019, other than director. And I could be wrong, but I'm thinking now. Which one do you think is new, Mr. Herring?
Well, the one that has 0 for 23, 0 for 24, 0 for 25.
Because a lot of them were okay. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry. They added a second tech 1.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
yeah, I'm
thought.
sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at that. I'm trying to figure out. But you're right. That's brand new. That new Tech One is new for 2 years. It may have been on the book 3, but I know we didn't fill it until or put a body in it. I don't think until 26, and we've had 2 bodies in that. And that right now, that's Fogel because it's not vacant anymore. It should actually be active because that
Activate.
a body is in that position.
So, okay. So at what rate, what salary did that person come in at?
He came on the 23 scale, 5. Hold on, I gotta pull up that pay scale off another thing. He came on at 23 scale of 5. Hold on, 301,
Go ahead.
300. Let me pull up what he is right now.
His rate is 5-5. His grade 5 and
Step
step 5.
Yes. No. Yes, he's a 5-5, grade 5, step 5. They're both of the Tech One. Fogel is the Tech One. He's on board. We are recruiting for another Tech One, which is why the vacant active is. That job has closed. Both of the Tech Ones will be 5-5s, the same thing, on the 23 scale.
You said that there's no, so that spot is vacant now?
That's the one that's vacant. Yes, sir. That's the
Okay, so
one.
you're going to fill it.
That's the one that closed on the 4th of June.
So let me ask a question because y'all threw that 41,901 out there in the budget. That's what's on the scale. That's what's in the budget, 41,901
Yes.
for that position. So are you bringing him in at 41,901? And because the new high rate,
It's up to management. That's the top of this. That's the top of the grade. It was advertised at a range, like all of ours, which is 37,960 to 41,901. That's the
okay,
range of that job.
okay, that's the range that they're gonna bring in.
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Let's see. Conference and training. They got $2,000 in the budget. Do they do any conference or training? Because they only spent $70. How much? I don't know if they spent $70. How much they spend in 2026, Mr. Stewart?
Let me just make sure. Hold a second for me. And training. So far, it's $70.
That's
but,
it?
But I believe we need to have our team go out and get certain training. And I would love to have that there. Go ahead, Ms. Rhodes.
It's time for them to get their go through legit to get their defensive driving. And I told that to the former city manager, former Department of Public Works director. And I just got something from legit, so I can give Mr. Gardner their schedule so they can go out for the defensive training driving. I think that was a minimal cost. And there was another class that it's time for them to get recertified on. There were at least 2 that I know of that it's time for them to be certified on. But defensive driving is definitely one that comes to mind right away because I just saw an email about it.
What about Moshe and OSHA? Do they even do that anymore? Does anybody take that training?
The last time anybody really worked with Moshe and OSHA was Charles. And legit came through there and they did a survey. I want to say right before Brian left, they come in and do a yearly survey. I know they surveyed the playground equipment. I don't know what the outcome of that was. I have to try and see if I can find out. But that was done through legit as well. Um, but the last person that had any type of OSHA training was Charles.
Okay. Temporary employment, $10,000. You increased it by 10,000. You added $10,000 for temporary employment. Why do you need temporary employment? Because they went hog wild with temporary employment in public works over the last year or so. I mean, it was out of control. So temporary employment because we never used to use temporary employment in public works.
We have been using temporary employees, I mean, for the last, let me see, for the last couple of years. And I don't know, but I am thinking we should put at least some funds there to accommodate for anything that should happen that we'll need temporary employees.
I don't see what you need temporary employees for. You've got six men here. I mean, the last year of using temporary employees was because the people didn't want to hire nobody. And I've said that before. I've never seen it take that long to hire somebody, especially a maintenance tech one, which is one of the easiest positions to hire for. So you just got somebody that's going to be more diligent when it comes to bringing in new employees and, and get them in here as quickly as possible. So just me, I'm just saying. What they did this last couple of years with temporary employees was unnecessary. And it wouldn't have been that issue if, employees were hired in a timely manner instead of people dragging their feet. Waste removal. Y'all think waste removal is going to go down for dumping fees for branches, grass, leaves, and from park? So it's either one or two things. Either you're not going to be cleaning up the parks, or you think the fees are going to go down. Which one is it? Which one is it?
It is more of a trend that we see happening over the years.
But that's not a good trend because we have huge parks out here. We now have 7th Street Park that needs to be maintained. We have community gardens. We have MLK Park. We have a lot of city property. We have stuff that needs to be cleaned up, branches and stuff, and undergrowth that's been cleaned up. So basically, what y'all doing is y'all basically contracting out most of this stuff because that's what I be seeing y'all that they be hiring hilarious to do this stuff when we have a full department. And so that's why our dumping fees are gone down for branches and trees and everything because we're not doing it. We're contracting it all out. And I'm trying to figure out why. Because some of that stuff is just basic underbrush that needs to be cleaned out. And then when we don't want you to clean out underbrush is cleaned out. When we want you to clean out underbrush, it isn't touched. So I'm just curious about why we, are taking it down because it's either we're going to do more contracting and they're not going to do it, or and that's the trend I see over the last couple of years is that we were doing more contracting than actually doing it ourselves and dropping it off. Jeez.
So, Mr. Herring, what are your recommendations for the two areas we just discussed?
You know what?
One,
I don't have
the
a
temporary
recommendation.
employees and the waste removal. Because right now,
All I want is employees to do the job that they were hired to do and do it to the best of their ability and keep us from having to get contractors all the time to do things that we hire employees for. So we don't have a director of public works, and maybe we need to get them in there to see what's what. And maybe then that number may go up because he's going to make them do more of the work themselves versus contracting it out. So I have absolutely no suggestions for you whatsoever on this, honestly.
so
Because
we'll leave it
I
at
don't
the
know what's going on half the
1,000.
time. You can leave it at 1,000 if you want to, but you know,
And
I'll
we'll
be
track
watching.
it. Yeah, we'll track
Well,
it.
it ain't hard. It ain't hard to track $1,000. You know that, right? So we can go on.
Okay.
It was um repairs and maintenance building. You have $40,000 in here, and so you're going to spend is what's in the details of what you're planning on spending. 15,000 for two garage doors, a garage heater for 6,000, and bathroom renovations of 15,000.
That I may have to do some editing. But mainly, and this is another area I needed to discuss with the council. We have electrical work that needs to be done in the whole building, including gold room. These electrical costs, should they be charged to the public works, or should it be charged to gold room, the portion that deals with the gold room? My opinion here is that the building really belongs to, in the sense of their repairs, cleaning, and so on, to the public works. So all of those repairs that needs to be done, I apply to public works.
With the electrical repairs and all that for
Yes,
gold room is under public works.
but in general, it's electrical work for the building itself that needs to be done.
And those expenses should be charged off to the gold room. They owe either something
The
needs to be charged
portion,
off. Yeah,
the
a portion of it
portion
should be
that
charged.
goes to the,
Yeah, should go to
but
gold room.
the go room is not making so much.
Yeah, then you'll see that they got to work harder to balance that budget, because it got to be a balanced budget. But at some point, we're going to have to make a decision on this gold room, because again, what the surplus that we're showing in this budget is absolutely ridiculous. But we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yes.
So you're taking up repairs and maintenance equipment, repairs and maintenance, propel motors, small equipment, and tools. So we're taking that up from 10,700 to 15,700, an increase of $5,000 for equipment. Didn't we just did a major purchase of equipment, I know, not too long ago, and we need more equipment to the tune of to a tune of $15,000? What happened to the equipment? What happened to the $10,725 in equipment that we bought in 2026?
That should still be there, but as you're
So what else do they
saying,
need?
that too, I believe we could look further into,
Yeah, because
so
I'm
that
like, y'all
they
taking
could
it up $5,000 for what? What's the justification for taking it up $5,000 if we just spent $10,000 in 2026 on equipment? Now you want to take it up $15,000 in 2027. What do we need, and what is the justification for taking it up? Well, for taking it up to $15,000 and maintaining the $10,000 level. So I'd like to see a justification on that, because that's I just want to know what I mean, and definitely, I mean, I think you got an inventory listing down there
yes,
for
I've
the color
actually,
works.
right, we're working on an inventory list of all equipment, and we're gonna be monitoring it to see how the repairs are going with it.
So is
So
that
we're getting a better handle on what is there, how they're being handled, and the
You're
repairs.
working on it or you have it.
I have started it.
So you're working on it. You don't have a complete inventory list.
We have a complete list, but I want to make sure that we have schedules as to when they're going to be repaired, when they're going to be maintained, because but when it comes to the equipment themselves, we have a list so far.
As a part of your depreciation schedule, right?
I have never gotten a depreciation schedule since I've been working with the auditors, the first auditors, and I've been asking for that, and that's been the hardest thing to come by.
Sorry, Councilman Harry.
Yes.
No, so you didn't. So I thought y'all, I
So,
mean, I know there was a depreciation schedule before because we had to have the auditors actually did it along with the previous treasurer, as that was a
Mr.
requirement. But
Mr. Herring, I have not seen it, and I've been
you haven't
requesting
seen
it
it.
from the first set of auditors. I've been requesting it. The new auditor, he approached them, and I haven't seen anything because I keep asking him for that list because I am now at the point where I had to have the team there do a count of the equipment that they're holding so that we could keep proper track of what's going on down there.
So let me ask a question. So are you going to cross-reference your inventory list with your invoices to get a dollar amount on that equipment that was purchased?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am going to be doing that.
Okay. Does your bill have the depreciation module?
Yeah, I think it does, but we have not been using it.
That's a problem. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me wrap this up. So you got repairs and maintenance, parks and landscaping. Court surface refurbished maintenance, park equipment. Is that MLK Park?
That's
Which parks?
MLK site
Yeah,
and
okay.
City Hall
Elwood Park.
maintenance.
So you're planning on doing the courts on MLK,
Yes.
and you only got $20,000 in here. Hmm. Mulches, lawns, maintenance. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And that too we have some of some of those expenses are through RH Hilarious for their work.
So what are they doing? What is HR Hilarious doing? What do they I mean? What are they doing in the park?
It's
Clean up?
it's mainly mulching and pruning and so on. Do more of a beautification and maintenance of the beds, flower bed, not only in the parks but also at the center, at the municipal center as well.
Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna leave that alone and see what happens when we get a new um director
Director.
of public works up in there. Because some of that sound like that should be in-house work. Um, this support equipment, $27,000. How much have we spent so far? You on here you have $4,824. How much have we spent so far on support equipment? Mowers, weed eaters, chainsaws, edgers, hedge clippers, blah, blah, blah.
Stuart, you're on mute if you're responding.
Yes, sorry. 4,840 we're at to date, to April.
And we put 27,000 in the budget. What are you planning on buying for $27,000 that you haven't bought this year for $27,000?
So if you notice, some of these equipment may go down, but I want to make sure that I'll follow up with that. I'll follow up with that just to
I
make
mean,
sure that we
that's
have
a lot of
this
money in
covered.
equipment. You
Yes.
got equipment there, $25,000, and then you got another repairs and maintenance equipment line up there for 15,000. You're talking $42,000 in equipment, in that budget alone.
No, one of them is just maintenance of equipment.
No, it says repairs and maintenance, repairs equipment, propel mowers, small equipment, and tools. So if that's just maintenance if that's just maintenance of equipment,
Yes.
then you definitely don't need no $15,000. Or what are they doing that there's $10,000 in maintenance in 1 year, and it jumped from $5,776 to go down to 2,027, and then jump up to 10,725 in maintenance. What are they repairing? I'm not understanding these numbers here. Because either they're just tearing the stuff up and just taking it to the shop, or what? Does that include the vehicles or what? Or is it just equipment?
This is equipment.
Yeah, you
So
gotta let me. I
yeah.
like to know what they work, what they are. I like to know what that $10,725 that's in here that they spent in 2026, what it's for, what equipment was repaired. That's a lot of money compared to the previous years, like 5 times higher. All right. Last thing is building supplies, $12,600. How much have you spent so far this year? Right, and here you have as of February is $4,325.
Supplies we had 4,536.
And you took it up $3,000. What was the justification for that? Because you only averaging about $8,000 over the last 3 years. You're averaging about $8,000 a year. The average is about 79.50 over 3 years. The average over 3 years. So why are we taking it up $3,000 to 12,600? What additional stuff are you planning on buying? We haven't added. We have no new buildings. We have no new bathrooms. So what additional stuff are we going to be doing that we're going to take up to 12,600 when we only spent what 4,800? You said
4,800 so far.
yeah. So yeah, you got that. Yeah, I like to know what's what's what with that. That's it for me. Thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Line 47, the support equipment. So it's saying, I'm looking at it, 27,000. That was in 26, so it remains the same in this budget.
Yes, that's what we are putting into that.
Okay, so I'm looking here back. You got mowers, you got weed eaters. We got chainsaws. I just saw a list where we have 5 of those. We have mowers and all this stuff. So they're just they buy all this stuff every year.
No,
We
not
just
every
bought.
year.
We just bought recently 2 chainsaws, and with those chainsaws, and then they already had 3, so that's 5. Um, I'm just looking at leaf blowers and different things like that. It's a bit one snow plow, snow blowers. The ones that we have. Are they disposable? They use them 1 year and they're gone. What?
So one of the issues we were having is that the snow blowers that were purchased were not commercial grades. So they're asking for commercial grade snow blowers. I'm not sure if we need another snow plow. I think one was broken last year, so I think we're gonna have to replace that one. I think that is the main idea behind
And like these
this
leaf blowers
maintaining this cost.
and stuff like that. And some of this stuff wasn't this some of this stuff purchased when they did the abatement out down on Glenarden Parkway. Hedge clippers, leaf blowers, um, mowers.
Mowers year before last year, I think they
I
bought
mean, so do
some
we,
mowers. So
but do we need to buy, I mean, we need to buy mowers every other year?
no, no.
So
Once
why
they're
are we buying
maintained,
mowers? I mean, why are we buying mowers? I just don't understand. If we have some of this stuff, like I said, snow blowers and I mean different things like chainsaws. I mean, we have this equipment, so why does it have to remain the same? I mean, why is it the same? I mean, we have some of this stuff, so it seems like we haven't this stuff in inventory. It shouldn't be um we shouldn't be spending the same because we have
we
inventory.
yeah, so we shouldn't be accounting for them. If anything should go down, we want to make sure that we have in budget to bring them back online. Um, we're thinking about as much as possible to repair um, our equipment, but if something should go down, we should be in a position to replace it so that we continue the work.
I understand that, but also we need to be able to make sure that we treat our equipment as we would our own. The other thing, I'm finished with that. The other thing is um from the time that I have been on the council since 2017 and just witnessing the public works um working and the various jobs that they were doing. I am not understanding all this all of a sudden in the last couple of years or year whatever, and I don't know whether it was brought in from the the new city manager or the manager of public works, but a lot of this mulching and all this stuff, public works did that. All they removed things. They picked up trash and different things, bulk trash, and take it down. I don't understand why all of a sudden it's all of this contracting out when some of the stuff that we're contracting out is in their job description. I'm not understanding that, and I just think that again we need to make sure we are being respectful about using and spending the taxpayers' monies. Just throwing all this stuff in here, and we're paying these people salaries, and all of a sudden, the things that in their job description has now been contracted out. That's not acceptable, and I don't want to be responsible for any of that. So I think again we need to look at some of this stuff. Look at we have to look at their job descriptions and look at what we have and see that this stuff has been done previously um, by our public works staff.
So
Thank you.
I agree with you there. But with a new public work director and the city manager, we could really review what is going on in that department to fulfill some of what you are referring to. Thank you.
I mean, so I understand what you're saying, but so you're saying just leave those funds in there and then discuss it, or we take it out and then put it back in if it's necessary.
You see, if we take it
Because I
out
think that,
now,
well, I think sometimes if you leave stuff in there, people find a way to use it, even if it's not necessary. Well, it's in my budget, so hey, let's go for it.
um, I wouldn't agree with that too much because, as you could see, they only use 4,800 so far of that in that line. But we will control it the best way we can to have a
No, I
greater
was just saying
picture
in
of what's
general.
going on.
I'm not necessarily saying them, but
I
even with
understand.
that,
There just need to be greater control in practically all the departments,
yeah, and
and we see that
some of them
happening.
dollars need to come down. I think you just some of these categories are too thick. They're too fat. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Gold room. Any comments, questions on the gold room?
Yeah, I have a couple of comments on that.
Yes, sir.
I guess my question is, um, these the crew members, we got one that's making like 36,000. Um, then another one is only making 20,000, and then it goes on down to like 12,000. I'm just trying to figure out what is why is there such a big swing between these salaries and these for these crew members? Um, yeah, I'm just curious about that. Um, Also, cleaning supplies again. How much have you spent so far, Mr.
Yes. So
Stewart, in cleaning supplies?
cleaning supplies has been a thorn in our side because we have been doing so much where cleaning is concerned now. Cleaning also include vacuuming and cleaning the go room, the board as well to clean all of that. Then we have the covers, the table covers, and so on. All of that has gone into this account, and it has blossomed. It is now at 4,160. And speaking with the Go Room coordinator, she's a bit concerned about, um, how much we are providing for this expenditure because it is very tight on her. Um, so we looked at it and realized that we need to bring it up a little. So the whole cleaning, which includes the floor, the supplies, the cleaning of the tablecloth, and so on, has now been extended. It's a high cost that we are paying. So for that, we need to know what to do next.
Okay, so
What are we doing different from what was happening before? Why
oh,
our
I know,
cost
I
is
can tell
so
you what
much
that
more?
is because you got tablecloths. Before we were doing paper, we did disposable tablecloths. That's a big expense right there. Now you got to clean them. And it wasn't a good idea when we started with the cloth tablecloths. It isn't, especially if they're renting them and we still have this expense. Aren't they probably renting these tablecloths? If we still
No,
had this expense, and that's what the biggest thing is. You say they're cleaning tablecloths. 'Cause I'm trying to figure out what are the major cleaning supplies in the gold room. I mean, the only thing that needs to be cleaned is you vacuuming the carpets, you wiping down your tables, or maybe you may kind of clean up the kitchen some. You know, other than that, it's a big box with nothing in it. You may clean the mirrors, take out the trash. I see somebody
and
spill
with
bleach on the carpet.
mhm. And where we need professional cleaners to come and clean the carpet, that's another cost. That you
When do
know,
they do that?
I think that happen at least every quarter. We have cleaner service to come in, and it depends on um, the how the carpet actually look. It depends because within a quarter you may have to get the cleaning service to come in and run through the floor. So that has been a big expense on us as well.
Okay, so you got a line for cleaning supplies at 7,000. You got 3,000 for support equipment. That's a new line. What is that? what support equipment do they need at $3,000?
The support equipment is really items that they're buying that they'll be renting out. So that will be making monies for the Go Room as well.
See,
So
and
those are items that they will be renting out.
okay, and see, here we go again, because again, there should be some justification because this is a new line item. What is it? You know, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but what exactly is it? We may not want to do that. It may not be cost effective to do that. You know, I mean, we need to know what's going on in there because again, once again, the government is under the council. Um, Sound system for Gold Room. Furniture. What furniture are they getting for this Gold Room?
On the tables, I don't know if they're gonna need anything, but any tables, chairs.
Well, the sound, I mean, they got furniture and sound system. The sound system alone will probably cost $5,000. So yeah, I have a appreciation expense, appreciation. How did your depreciation expense go from $43,000 to, you haven't recorded depreciation for 2026 yet?
For 2026, no. It is done through the audit.
Then how did they go from 5,650 to 43,000, 24, 25?
That's what they have been sending to me for over the years, and I've been asking them for a list and not getting anywhere. So I'll approach them again to give me an idea what this $43,000 covers.
Well, I would like to know what support equipment they're going to get for $3,000. Also,
Yes,
cleaning supplies going up to, I mean, because it says mops, brooms, cleaning supplies. It doesn't say anything about any
that
professional
would be my
services.
that would be my my mistake there to not include that is in the description.
Well, I like to know what it is. You know, I mean, it's going up to
Yeah.
$4,800. What is that going to get us? You know, and will that benefit the gold room? Now, again, I'm gonna tell you my biggest issue with this whole thing with the budget in general is that for the gold room is that there's only a surplus of $257 after everything is said and done,
Mhm.
and that is nowhere near what we should be. I mean, if we're going to do $257, I don't know why we even running the gold room. You can go over budget just one item, and you're going to be in a deficit. I'm just like, I mean, and that's what I don't think that's being
But
looked at.
yeah, but I
That
can tell you for now, they're at a $24,000 surplus
yeah,
based on
but
what I'm having now.
so why are we budgeting so? Why are we only showing a $257 surplus for 2027? If you're looking at a $24,000 surplus or whatever it is for 2026. But that surplus does not include depreciation, does it?
No,
Yeah, okay. So there it
doesn't
goes.
include
So you lose that
it.
once they factor in the depreciation.
Mhm.
So as well as whatever other expenses that they may have. So you're going to wait for the audit to see what their depreciation should be for the gold room, and then that number come down too. But again, I'm just saying again, and I saw Ms. Bunn's email about, wanting to hire another person. She don't have the money in her budget to do it. She don't have the money in the budget. I mean, right now she got a surplus. You put another person in there, you want to do a deficit. And by law, we can't do deficit budgets. They have to be break even or a surplus. But we cannot do a deficit budget. So she doesn't even have the money in her budget to even get another person. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Stewart, just say that yeah, you should probably get that depreciation schedule. You can look in prior audits, but it's not the job of the auditor to keep records. It's management's job to keep records and make entries. Now, auditors will require adjusting entries if something is off, but essentially we're paying for service, and all the records that they have from that service schedules, um, we should have access to them because we should be the ones putting together the schedule. So,
And that's what I've been trying to get over the years since I came there, and it is not happening. So I'm now working on building that list.
yeah, thank you. Councilman Jones?
Thank you. So in the gold room, she only has two event crew and they're part-time, both part-time?
All the crew members are part-time.
And she only has two crew members.
Only two she has right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so one of the positions is vacant. So one of the part-time event crew members, she can't move that person to because I think the way it was worded in the email, I think she's looking for somebody that can, when she's not there, definitely have somebody
Yes.
there to assist, with any questions from prospective renters for the gold room or any room.
Right, but what I'm looking at is maybe she could take one of the vacant crew members, the vacant crew member at 12. She could move that up to a crew chief, a part-time crew chief that will come in when she, is not available. And it's very hard getting individuals to come in at these for these positions because they don't offer a lot of time, and the pay is not as attractive. So we could move the vacant to a crew chief, and maybe change. But right now, even if I cannot put any more on the go room because the expenses are really high, or the revenues. I mean, granted, this year their revenues pick up a lot. Their revenues have gone up more than 50% over what was, for example, rental fees were budgeted. I mean, that is down by 23,000. But yeah, they're doing a little better. But right now, given the expenses that they're incurring, they're saving. They're at a $24,000 savings. Well, until the depreciation, but the direct spending is less.
So we would need to get accelerated spending, and not spending, but revenue to consider. Or unless you said we move one of the part-time, the person that's part-time vacant. If
So
I can't
she
remember
could get an assistant.
when was the last time we hired or even advertised for an event crew chief. Is Miss Schultz still? Who
I
was
think
in
we
that
had
position?
one. I think we had one in 2024 or 25, because it was really hard getting individuals in.
Let me
Yes.
pull up her chart to see when the last crew chief left. Just a minute.
But I think they phased that position out is the reason why we lost that crew chief, right?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, ma'am. Hold on. She wasn't working out and she let her go. Um, but that's been vacant. It was not budgeted in 20 for 26. The
Right.
last time we actually had a position in there must have been 25, sometimes in 25, the exact date I don't have on this chart. But she
I think
wasn't
it's
working out and she got rid of her. And then they didn't council didn't budget for 26.
All right, thank you. Because what I want to ask is going to probably be for closed session.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Mr. Stewart, I don't have a capital.
capital is on page 9
I,
of 27. Oh, you don't have it. So if you go back to the summary, 2020, yes, and scroll down.
Can't give me a line so I could just go to it.
Uh, hold a second.
It's all right. This it?
You're doing a search, but I will tell you. Just scroll down. It's the second to last um, project here.
I guess this is it. No, this is not it. Police, Special Revenue Fund, camera, farmers market.
Hunting.
All right, capital
Capital.
projects fund. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on the capital projects fund? Capital expenditures?
Yeah, I just want to be clear and make sure I'm reading this right. So we're going to spend about almost $4 million from reserve for capital projects.
For 3.4. And if you're
320. Yeah.
referring to you may be referring to the surplus that we are bringing over, and that would bring it to 3.9. That's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Mhm. But at the end, we didn't need so much. So the spending is like 4.3 million.
So I guess my question would be, since we didn't use so much, why aren't we putting MLK Park renovations in this budget? We have no money here for renovations. We have that money you have over there, was it in general, wherever the heck it is, in public works. But we need to do some major renovations. We need a gazebo over there. We need that slab redone, and the courts need to be redone. I'm not sure why it's not under capital versus under public works.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure how much that's going to cost us. But we need to put some money to wrap that park up. It's not complete. And it's going on like 10 years or 10 years or more with that.
Okay.
Plus it's supposed to have a seesaw that need to be replaced.
And we're talking about the MLK?
Yeah, MLK Park.
Okay. All right, can we meet to discuss this further? To see what are some of the improvements that need to take place in the parks?
Yeah, but y'all need to get, I
The
mean,
budget is now.
you sitting there with $804,000 that you saying surplus and capital. I just want something put aside for MLK Park so we can wrap that park up. We can finish with it. Like I said, again, we need the gazebo, we need the slab redone, and we need those courts redone. Yeah, I'm not sure how much they're going to cost, but you should have information in there for those courts and how much we paid for those courts. And I think we had gotten an estimate on that slab. I know when from what's that? Who's the one that's doing the streets? Whatever the name is.
Um, NZI.
NZI. Yeah, we got a quote from them on the slab, and they were supposed to be, I had the city managers looking at gazebos. They never got around back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to put something in there for that park to get completed. And they're gonna y'all want to buy another pickup truck for Public Works?
Okay, so good question. The electric vehicle that they have now, I was asked if they could trade that in for something more sturdy. So this is more of a trading in of the vehicle that they have now to get something that is more sturdy, because they say this one is not as sturdy as they would wish.
Now, when y'all convinced us to buy this vehicle, y'all said it was a good vehicle and it's sturdy and it's an EV and it's all this and much more. And now y'all want to trade it in because it ain't sturdy. For another EV?
I think it's not for another EV, because I think they've learned their lesson, but I cannot totally say yes, it's not a EV. I think it may be another EV, but something with a stronger usage level.
No, just get a gas. Forget the EV and go ahead and go with fossil
A gas
fuel.
vehicle.
Jeez. Everybody want to be environmentally friendly, and then we get stuck in the snow because your EV done broke down, and we haven't had that for a good 2 years, really about 2 years, and already you ready to trade it in. One other thing I had.
Can I just say
Okay,
it?
so you got one question right quick while I'm looking at it. So you got something in capital for breaker boxes in and around Gold Room, $60,000. So you're funding that. You're funding the electrical work, right?
Breaker box and go room.
Yeah, it says replace electrical breaker boxes in and around
Right,
Gold,
right.
$60,000.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And right above that, y'all want to get a Bobcat. I mean, backhoe, a Bobcat. I can't see them using a Bobcat. I don't know what you need it for. Please don't say the snow.
So I get to understand that it would have been instrumental having that equipment during the snow. Not only that, when we have trees
I could have sworn
falling
I said don't
and
say
so on.
snow. Just messing with you. Yeah, I just see $90,000 for a Bobcat. Honestly, I'm telling you, till we get a good accounting on Public Works and their equipment and everything, I don't see getting them a Bobcat. I really don't. I don't see it. I don't see the need for it. I mean, it's like equipment after equipment after equipment buying it. I don't see it. So that's my feeling. So all right, that's it for me. Thanks.
Quick question. What's our total surplus to date?
Pardon me, what's
Overall total reserves, sorry. Total reserves, added surplus over years. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'd have to pull up, hold a minute. I'd have to pull up that information.
Okay. All right. While you look for it, um,
Yes.
I'll move on to Councilman Cross.
Thank you. I just have one question. We have a lot of vehicles that are now consuming a great percentage of our parking spaces. Have we considered a parking garage for our maintenance vehicles that we don't use? We're getting a backhoe. You know, literally, we're outsourcing ourselves with vehicles in the municipal parking spaces. Now, the public code enforcement is parking all up the side of the road. You know, so have we considered a parking garage which will, neutralize some of the excess parking that's happening around the municipal center? I mean, we're turning into really a car lot now. That's just my question. Can we use some reserve for that? Can we maybe even put just a feasibility study or around it just to see what it would cost? And thanks for the question about the reserves, how much we have left, because I think that each year that is a quality question to ask. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions for capital projects? All right. Hearing none, seeing none, I'll go to the next item on the agenda.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, is he not giving us the quote on, the comment on how much we have in reserves? That was a,
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman
Yes,
Cross.
I will get that number to you soon. I'm looking.
What was it at the end of the year? You start there.
It was 13 million.
13
Just hold a
million in
second.
reserves.
Yes.
How much of that was unrestricted? Do you know offhand?
Um, no, I couldn't tell you offhand, but let me continue.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cross? I'm sorry, not Councilwoman Cross. She just went. Councilwoman Jones?
Thank you. I just saw indication down here, says ADA compliant sidewalks. I thought we had gotten all of our sidewalks up to ADA compliance. Or did we miss some? Do we need to have someone go around and find out what is and what isn't ADA? Because I thought we had already done that. And that has what, 40,000 in it, maybe
Yeah.
there's.
Mr. Stewart, if you're speaking, you're on mute.
If we don't have that
Hello, yeah.
information right now, we can get it to you.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Um, all right. If there are no more questions or comments, next step, Mr. Stewart, I believe you're compiling some information. You're looking at overtime, making adjustments in your spreadsheet of what the council has upon adjusting.
Yes.
Um, and you're compiling everything into a final document.
That I will do. Yes.
Okay.
And can I get back to you on the reserves?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Just email it to the entire council. Just tell us what total reserves are, what's restricted, what's unrestricted, so council members can know.
Will do.
Tomorrow we have a public hearing. Um, I'll just put a section on the agenda. Well, a section is on the agenda already for any lingering budget questions or comments that council may have. But the most of the bulk of the meeting will be for pending legislation for council, not council members, for citizens to speak on pending legislation. And then we'll have a moment if council missed something today we can bring it up tomorrow. And then next week, majority of the council will be at MML, and we will convene the following week, then Monday to vote. We hope to have the, another good look at closer to final version of the budget, hopefully by next beginning of next week, so that people have a week to. They'll be at MML, but has some extra time to look at it and um, go over it before voting. All right, with that, the last item on the agenda is to go into closed session to discuss salary related to personnel. The council reserves the right to go in closed session at any time during a public meeting. Pursuant to the Annotated Code of Maryland, State Government Article Section 10-508A, the council by majority vote may retire to executive or closed session at any time during the meeting. Should the council retire to executive or closed session, the chair will announce the reason or reasons, and a report will be issued at a future meeting disclosing the reasons for closed session. And again, we're proposing to go into closed session to discuss salary and other related personnel issues. So with that, I motion that we go into closed session to discuss such matters. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make sure we have Ms. Schultz in with us in this meeting.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So Ms. Schultz, Mr. Gardner, and Mr. Stewart. Any objections to those three? Okay. Madam Clerk, do roll call to adjourn to closed session, please.
Yes. Councilwoman Cross?
Yes.
Councilman Harrison?
Yes.
Councilman Herring?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson?
Yes.
Mayor Curtis?
Yes.
We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. Good night, everyone else. And we'll wait for Mr. Gray to be ready as he stops the recording and turns over the meeting to myself. To me.
Mayor, you may want to stop sharing.